So in this video, which is only going to be a short video, but in this one I want to talk about whether you can legally work on a commercial vessel without a marine qualification. I had a call not long ago. This question was put to me, so thought it was worthwhile putting a video out there so you know whether you can or cannot work on a commercial vessel without a marine qualification. Let's find out. Okay, so in the video we're going to cover when you need a general purpose hand certificate, what a GPH certificate allows you to do. Now, on the screen, if you're looking there, you'll see general versus direct supervision. This is really going to be the key to answering that question. So when these words come up, you need to pay particular attention to those words and also what the definition of those words is. Then we're going to look at what are the requirements to be eligible to obtain a GPH. So once you've done your training and your study, then you make an application to AMSA, amsa.gov.au. And there are certain eligibility requirements which we'll look at. And also doing some preparation even before you get to finishing a course, because sometimes courses don't run all the time. They may be 2 or 3 times a year, 4 at the most. Some companies may do them monthly, but there'll be an online component. So you can be ready before you get to the end of a course by completing a marine radio license, your first aid certificate, and obtaining your sea service days. So when do you need a GPH certificate? So a GPH certificate is required when you're undertaking any of the tasks on the screen there under what's called general supervision. So you've already got one of those words already, general supervision. So we'll get to that in just a moment, but the activities or tasks that you can undertake in the deck environment, so deck work, means the operational lookout tasks of any of the following: navigation, mooring, anchoring, or cargo work. So a GPH certificate also allows you to work in the engine room, undertaking tasks under the supervision of a chief engineer or second engineer or someone designated as being able to supervise you. And that could be for working on equipment, main or auxiliary machinery that's used in any of the following: the propulsion of the vessel, mooring of the vessel, anchoring, or cargo work. So what does a GPH certificate allow you to do? Well, first of all, it allows you to work on a vessel up to 100 metres in length, quite a large vessel. So you're forming part of the competent crew on a domestic commercial vessel, up to 100 metres in length, on a vessel that has a gross tonnage of 3,000 gross tonnes, that operates within the exclusive economic zone, so that's the EEZ, so that's from the coastline to 200 nautical miles to sea, and in that general supervision role. So now we have general versus direct supervision. General supervision simply is where you hold a certificate of competency. In this case, we're referring to general purpose hand. So general purpose hand certificate of competency, you hold that qualification. You've undertaken training, fire training, survival training, seamanship training. You've been assessed. You've made your application to AMSA and you hold that qualification. That means when you undertake tasks on board the vessel, you can do those tasks based on the instructions you've been given on board the vessel and any directions that you receive from your supervisor. But your supervisor is not frequently attending to you. In other words, you're working semi-independently. You're in contact with your supervisor if need be, but you're able to go out and complete these tasks. Now, direct supervision, a person who is not qualified, does not hold a marine qualification, is frequently within sight and hearing of the supervisor. So let's look at AMSA's diagrammatic format of how they explain general versus direct supervision. So let's look at that very top line that's in the blue background. It says, this is relevant to people who work on a domestic commercial vessel and who do not hold a certificate of competency. So now we've got someone on board. They do not hold a certificate of competency, but we now have to ask the question, do they work on a domestic commercial vessel carrying out work relating to navigation, mooring, anchoring, cargo, or propulsion? So here we have someone who's not holding a certificate of competency, but is undertaking those activities. So let's follow the arrow down now. And if you're not undertaking those activities, then you may not need to hold a general purpose hand certificate. If you answer yes to those activities, now when you're undertaking these activities, you are under direct supervision, frequently within sight and hearing of your supervisor? So if the answer is yes to that question, that you are under direct supervision, then you may not need a GPH certificate. If the answer is no to that question, then you will need to hold a certificate of competency as a general purpose hand. So here's some tips you can do before you get your GPH certificate. So having a marine radio license has a distinct advantage on board a vessel because we commonly use portable radios, and anyone using a marine radio must have a marine radio license, so you can shorten the length of time it's going to take you to complete the whole course by obtaining this first. We can deliver that for you if you're interested. Go to truenorthmarine.com.au and there's the website on the screen. First aid certificate, extremely important on board a vessel. We have to deal with emergencies ourselves. Most of these are just one-day courses. There is a requirement to have 5 days of sea service, and by that discussion we've just had in this video on whether you need to have a qualification to work on a commercial vessel, then you can see that this 5-day sea service can be obtained before you do a course by going down the direct supervision pathway. So eligibility requirements for obtaining a GPH: you must be 16 years of age. You must be medically fit, and there's a form that needs to be completed when you submit your application, AMSA form 1850, which includes medical and eyesight questions. You must be able to speak and understand English, including being able to read documents. You must complete that training, the GPH course training, with a reputable registered training organisation, and you can find those at training.gov.au. And you must need to have your 5-day sea service, which can be completed using direct supervision on a commercial vessel. So finally then, here's some steps you could follow to speed the process up and make it easy for you to obtain your GPH certificate. Go onto our website at truenorthmarine.com.au and enrol in the Marine Radio Licence course. Obtain your first aid certificate, and the unit of competency that's required is on the screen. Obtain your 5-day sea service under direct supervision. Make sure you receive that letter from the employer that you've done your 5 days. Complete your GPH course with an approved provider who can deliver that course for you, a registered training organisation. Complete AMSA form 1850, which is your medical form. Complete and submit AMSA form 426, which is the application form for a GPH qualification. Attach all the other relevant documents to that application, and then once you're working and accruing sea time and experience on board a commercial vessel, continue with your career path by undertaking additional courses. So to answer that question on the first slide, can I legally work on a commercial vessel without a marine qualification? The answer is yes, if you're doing that under direct supervision. Okay, thanks for your time. Hope this video is helpful to you. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up on the screen. That always gets the message out there to other people who are looking for similar advice.